Welcome back to another video. We're just going to get started by saying hello to our mat, saying hello to ourselves, taking a minute to ground yourself. Maybe you want to close your eyes and breathe deeply for a moment, letting the shoulders drop away from the ears. Making sure that you really feel those sit bones on the mat. So if you need to, maybe separate, the cheeks a bit so that you really feel centered. Letting go of tension in the face. And just thanking yourself for showing up. You're dedicating a little bit of time in your day for this upper body focused sequence today. So I hope we get a great release. We're going to start in child's pose, really simple. Big toes together. On the knees, nice and wide. Reaching the hands out in front of you. If this is a little too much starting out, you can also bring the hands behind you. So they should be next to your knees and the hands will be facing the back of the room. That always feels nice if maybe, the traditional child pose is just a little too much to get started with. Maybe it's heavy on the shoulders for you. Whatever the reason might be, find what you need. We're going to take our time here, just focusing on the breath. Resting that head on the mat. And I'll tap back in when it's time to release. All right, friends, start to slowly work your way out of child's pose. We're going to come on to our stomachs into Sphinx pose, and then taking that right arm, sliding it behind the left. The right palm should be facing up. Your left palm should be facing flat on the floor. So as you cross that arm under, do your best, I know it can be a little intense here, to not scrunch the shoulders up into your ears. You want to try and let the shoulders relax away from the ears, almost as if you're trying to get your scapula to go downwards, down the back. What we're going to feel here is a nice release in the shoulders especially. Some might even feel it in the chest area. And this is just an area that we can kind of neglect or just not really think about, but it can get really tight as we're sitting all day, or maybe you stand all day and maybe round the back a little bit. So this should be a great release. We're going to be here for a little while, and then we're going to switch and go to the other side. You can gently come out, find Sphinx pose again, then take that left hand, slide it behind that right, and then go ahead and cross that left arm over so you can find your stretch. It's okay to wiggle around in the beginning. Once you find your sweet spot, do your best to just focus on the breath, be still, and just welcome that release. Lovely. Let's come out of bow tie. We're going to find hands and knees, hips over knees, reaching that right arm up towards the sky. And then we're going to take that right arm, slide it behind the left, brace yourself there with that left hand. If you'd like, you can even take the left hand and just stretch it out directly in front of you. Now the key to really getting the best release you can here is trying not to let your hips go in the same direction as that arm. So what we want to do, if we are sliding that right arm underneath right now, we want to make sure that our hips are actually going towards the right. We want to keep them as center as possible, but sometimes we shift. So for a lot of us, that means we need to shift the hips right so that we can stay centered. Feeling the upper back release, remembering to breathe, and I will tap right back in when it's time for the other side. If you had the hand outstretched, come back and brace yourself as you wake up out of that stretch. Come back to hands and knees. Take a moment and then reach that left arm up towards the sky. Slide it behind the right arm and either brace yourself or reach the arm out in front of you. And remember, for this side, we're thinking our hips are going to go left so that we can keep them center. Slowly start to make your way back up to tabletop. Come and find a nice seated position. You can cross the legs in front of you, or you can even have the legs outstretched in front of you if you feel a little bit more comfortable with that. We're going to go into eagle arms. What's going to happen is that right arm is going to slide underneath that left elbow. And what you're trying to do is get the palms of your hands to touch or to meet. Mine isn't as pretty because my shoulders are super tight right now. So it doesn't have to be pretty, guys. If your hands don't meet, don't sweat it. Maybe you just want to do skin side of your hands meeting, and that's as far as you'll go. Now, if you'd like to, you can stay sitting upright if that's more than enough for you. Think of keeping the shoulders down, away from the shoulders, and almost like you're trying to push away from your body. Really feeling that in our traps, some deeper in the shoulders. We're all a little bit different, but we're definitely feeling that release. You're welcome to just come down to a little bit of a bow. If you want a bit more intensity with the pose. If you took the time to come a little lower, find yourself back upright, release the arms slowly, give yourself a moment. You see me just giving myself what I need before we go to the other side, taking that left arm underneath the right and getting the palms to touch. Once again, skin side of the hands touching is totally fine if you can't go that far. Really make sure that you're pushing away from the body. There's a bit of tension in this pose, just a bit. Shoulders away from the ears, and if you feel like you want a little more intensity, start to lower yourself down. Slowly start to make your way up if you were folded forward. Release the arms, shake it out a bit, and then let's go ahead and grab our blocks and set ourselves up for supported fish. You want one block at the top going horizontally, and then a nice block for our backs to rest on going vertically. Once that's all set up, let the arms come out to the sides. Now you can have the legs in front of you like I had them. You can have them bent like you see me here with the soles flat on the mat. Or you can do butterfly pose, soles of the feet together, letting the knees drop towards the mat. Remember, it's not a contest, so if your knees don't go very far, that's fine. Just as long as you're feeling the release you need to feel. You're welcome to take the arms up above the head if you would like a little more intensity. If not, just keep the arms to the side. Maybe close your eyes and really just enjoy this opening of the heart, of the chest, of the ribs. It feels really nice, especially since most of us, whether we are conscious of it or not, are kind of in a rounded motion most of the day. Even when we think we're sitting up at our straightest, there's still a bit of roundness and concaveness that goes on with our musculature. So it's always nice to just remind our bodies, hey, let's open up a bit. Now, if you were in butterfly pose, gently take the sides of your legs and bring the knees together. Slowly roll up. Do not try and move too quickly here. Take the blocks away. We're all done with those. And let's come on to our backs into Savasana. Take up space. Get comfortable. And just focus on how you feel in this moment. There are thoughts passing by. Let them pass by. Don't dwell on them. Just let them come and go. Allow yourself to take this time to just completely surrender. Surrender to gravity. Surrender to the moment. Surrender to what is right now in this moment. I'm going to leave you here, friends. I encourage you to take a little more time in Savasana, as much time as you need. As the holiday season comes up, I hope you stay well, take care of yourselves, and I will see you on the next video.